Have you felt curious about koji, but you're not sure how to use it in your own kitchen?
Well, today on WTF, we're going to show you how to use koji to enhance all your meats and vegetables and even make an amazing Amazake fried rice. Hello and welcome to WTF, where we transform food here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen. I'm Chef Scott Guerin.
And I'm Janie Wang, one of the owners of Modernist Pantry. Now, here on WTF, every week we cover unique ingredients, techniques, show you how to do recipes and demos that you can do in your own kitchen to get started and have some fun. So remember, subscribe and ring the bell and you'll get notified of our content. It comes out every single Tuesday. And today we're going to be covering one of probably the most rapidly growing popular ingredients out there, which is koji. And you may have already seen a little bit about koji on our primer episode, link in the description below. But today we thought we would go specifically into 3 different applications of koji and talk about when you use koji, what effect does that have on what you're cooking. So Scott, maybe where we can start off with is for people who are not familiar with koji, just kind of like a brief overview of what exactly it is and what it's doing, because you know we can spend 20 minutes just talking about what is koji, but we don't have that time.
We did, yes.
I know.
Yes. So yeah, it's a really interesting ingredient because very rarely are you attempting to grow mold on things inside of a kitchen on purpose. So what koji is a mold spore. There's 2 different types. There's SHIRAGIKU and SHIRAYURI that we have. And those are based on Aspergillus oryzae, and that is the mold spore that is going to grow and then create all these really great things. Now, once you have koji mold, you need to grow it on something. We choose rice. That is the most basic grain that you can grow it on. But you can grow it on any type of grain. You can grow it on oatmeal, you can grow it on barley. It does not matter. It will grow. We were able to grow it on sunflower seeds, on chicken thighs, on steak. You can grow it on pretty much anything if you understand it, a little bit. And that's what we're here to help you do.
Yeah.
So what koji needs is it needs basically a starch, because it needs to kind of eat up that starch and start a little community so it can grow. So I like to take a little bit of koji spores, sprinkle it in there with some cornstarch and a little bit of rice flour, so a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt. You give it the right environment, you can pretty much grow it on anything. If you're going to be growing it on the rice, you can watch our other episode, link in the description below. It's very simple. You basically just cook the rice and sprinkle it on there because the rice has everything it needs to grow. Once you have this rice is where you really have what people call koji, right? So this rice can then be turned into a number of different things. First one we'll talk about is a Shio koji and a Shoyu koji. So what that's good for is you add some sort of salt to this rice, and the salt will mix with the rice and it helps marinate and flavor, and also stand by the protease and lipase. And protease and lipase breaks down protein and fat. So lipo is fat and protein or protease is protein. So when you add those to, let's say, meat, it's going to kind of break them down gently so they become more supple, more juicy, and just all around better, right? Then if you take this koji rice and you add it to a cooked starch, so what we did here is we added to a little bit of more cooked rice. We were also able to add it to a little bit more cooked cornmeal. We did whole little popcorn kernels. That worked really great. And also oatmeal and different types of starches. And you can create different flavors that way. What you're making here is a really sweet, slightly alcoholic substance, and this is called Amazake. And Amazake can be used to marinate vegetables. It can also be used on meat. It'll give it a more sweeter flavor and promote browning, which we see here in this chicken that we did. So that's actually an Amazake chicken thigh. And these are 2 chicken thighs side by side, cooked at the exact same temperature, 350 for 15 minutes, and you can see the difference in the browning. Also, the difference in the texture and the moisture in this chicken breast is unbelievable compared to the regular chicken thigh. I mean, chicken thigh is usually delicious, but this is a great way to add extra flavor, a lot of umami flavor, and a really beautiful, crispy kind of crust on the outside. And especially with these little bits of starch that are on the outside, they get nice and kind of crispy and good. So that's 2 different ways to use it. Then there's a third. So it's basically like a tree. You start with Koji, you can go this way to Shio or Shoyu Koji, or you can go the other way down to Amazake. From Amazake, if you have sugar, you have some alcohol, you can then create like a fermentation vessel, right? So what we did is we take this and we left it on some tomatoes, and we put it on the tomatoes, and there's amylase, so it's breaking down the starches in here to create that really sweet environment, then can turn vinegary, so we're able to make, you know, some Amazake, then turns into Kojizuki. So Kojizuki is kind of the pickle from Amazake. So you can pickle pretty much anything. We like the tomatoes because they actually held up really well throughout the pickling process, but you get so much umami and you get so much you know, acidity from it. It's a really nice way to make pickles without having to just do, you know, normal vinegar pickles or lacto-fermented pickles, even though lactobacillus is the correct bacteria in there that's creating the pickle itself. So it's just a really cool different way to then make pickles from Koji.
Yeah, and I think, as you know, I would say traditionally we all think, well, having mold grow on food is bad. And I know that we have mold on these pumpkin seeds. If I remember correctly, we can eat these, right?
Yeah, you can eat those. So those are actually sunflower seeds. So it's just a little bit of cornstarch, rice flour, Koji, and then it's held in a humid environment so that the mold will grow. And they can kind of make a cake. And you can literally make little, you know, like patties that you can then toast and do all sorts of great things with them. They fry up really well. The mold works really well for any of those like frying purposes. It's just a kind of cool different thing to then, okay, well, I have all this extra stuff. What's the next thing I can do? And I mean, we even have pork belly there that we were able to, you know, cure with the Shio Koji, or actually the Shoyu Koji, and then we have some garlic here that we were able to cure with the Shio Koji. So like anything that you have that maybe, I don't know what to do with, put it in some Koji, and it's going to change the flavor and make it so much more rich and savory.
Yeah, I have to say, like the sunflower seeds, you look at it, you're like, it's covered in mold. Is it really going to taste that good? But it tastes amazing. Like it tastes like way better than just a regular
it has like almost
sunflower.
like a really kind of roasty flavor without having to apply any heat.
Yeah.
And you can get them in nice little kind of garnish form too that way. So yeah, there's so many different things that you can do with Koji, and we tried so many different things with the Koji, but we were able to find this chicken thigh, and it just made it taste so good and made it crisp up so really nicely that we wanted to make a fried rice, and then we can put the Koji Amazake chicken thigh, not kitchen thigh, over the top.
Okay.
Cool, so let's do a little demo here. So I have a really hot pan, wok, and I'm just going to add in some neutral flavored oil. I'm going to allow that to heat up a little
Scott suggested that I watch Uncle Roger.
Oh boy.
I hope Uncle Roger comes and reviews Scott's fried rice.
Please review my fried rice. Big fan.
Fried rice.
All right, so I got some ginger and garlic here that I'm going to wok. Right. Already smells wonderful. Great. So we do have a little bit more ingredients that we're going to add that are not necessarily traditional, at least one ingredient that's not really traditional. And we're going to add in soy sauce powder, because if you add in too much liquid to fried rice, you end up with soggy rice. And soggy rice does not make people happy, right? So once I get a little bit of color on my ginger and garlic, I'm going to add in my rice here, and I'm going to toast it up. So you want a hot pan so then you can keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pan. Some of it may stick, but you want to go nice and fast here. At this point, I'm going to add in my flavoring. So I have some sambal, I have a little bit of fish sauce, and then I have my soy sauce powder. Now it looks like a lot of soy sauce powder, but remember, you want to coat all this rice and make it beautiful and savory, right?
It smells really good.
Make sure it's good. Let it fry up. Okay, now I have some edamame. You can add in any vegetable or anything that you like in fried rice here. We wanted to go a little bit greener with our rice. Make sure it's nice and hot. And then we have a cooked off egg. We didn't want to have to cook the egg on camera because it would take too long. So I have just a nice cooked off egg, really beautiful. not browned at all. I didn't lose any of my rice, which I'm happy about on that last flip. So, take my fried rice, and I can then put it right into my bowl. If Uncle Roger's watching, always add the spring onions on last. Oh, we obviously need the chicken.
Yeah.
So, let's put the chicken on. So we have some beautiful Amazake roasted Koji chicken. Then we have some green onions that we can sprinkle over the top. And then if you want to heat it up just a little bit more, make it a little extra spicy, some Thai bird chilies right over the top of that. You have a really nice, quick fried rice. Janie, if you want to go right ahead.
All right, I'm going to just go with the chicken, which I'm touching with my hands. Sorry, viewers.
There's forks right there, Janie.
Sorry. Oh, you didn't see it. But this chicken's delicious.
Yeah, it's wonderful. That chicken is really amazing. It's so simple. Once you have the Amazake, you can keep it in the fridge for pretty much weeks at a time and just apply it to whatever you want. And within a day, that chicken's ready to go.
Yeah. I think just to like compare it against this like
How pale is that traditional one? I mean, it's at a normal oven temperature that people would use at home. It's just not as good as the Amazake.
I know. This one makes this one taste terrible.
And chicken thighs are wonderful. So
That's true.
yeah, it's pretty amazing to take something and just make it so much better with one ingredient.
Yeah. So, kind of what we want to do today was really just not go like crazy into depth about Koji because it's such a big topic. You can watch the other Primer episode in the link in the description below. But even then, I kind of feel like there's just so much more to it. You can do a deep dive. So what we really wanted to cover is, you know, like how do you quickly get your Koji spores going? How do you use it? What are different types of stuff that you can make with it? If you have any specific questions about Koji or comments or your favorite recipes or your favorite things that you put Koji on, leave them in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And until next week, from here in the Test Kitchen, I'm Janie Wang.
And I'm Scott Guerin. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell so you get notified when we drop a new video.
To get today's recipes and all of our recipes, remember to go to blog.modernistpantry.com where you'll get recipes, ask a chefs, tips and tricks, and more.
And if you haven't already, tell a friend so they know what's going on here at WTF.
And as always, to get any of the ingredients you saw today, you can go to modernistpantry.com to shop.
And until next time, we'll be here in the Test Kitchen helping you create memorable and magical experiences.